It's only been a week. The show's only been out for a week, and the media seems like they are just, it's hit a fever pitch with them desperately trying to defend this thing. And as we see right now, it's still sitting at a 27% on Rotten Tomatoes.
5,000 ratings. Holy shit.
And I don't know if it can really, it certainly could go down. I don't know if it will, because I feel like there are people, like we said, that they blame review bombing. I've seen a lot of people that are saying, go get a 5-star to combat the review bombing. Weird how that works, because they've only talked about one side of this thing. Article after article after article. The Acolyte review bombed on Rotten Tomatoes. The Acolyte gets review bombed, setting an unfortunate Star Wars record. You got new ones like The Mary Sue. Like clockwork, annoying fans review bombed The Acolyte. I mean, you could say like clockwork, annoying fucking woke mainstream journalists who have an agenda and hate fans write another article shitting on fans. Like clockwork, it tends to happen, especially from this fat hoe. No one hates Star Wars like Star Wars fans. Some Star Wars fans are making up reasons not to watch The Acolyte, most of which are based on pretty much total projection. 10 years later, The Acolyte isn't ruining Star Wars. You are! Lucasfilm's latest series is the franchise's most promising yet, but fans are too blinded by their hate to see it. It's weird how almost all these are written by women, isn't it? Strange how that works. The Acolyte backlash and review bombing explain what's really going on. Look at that face. How could you want to watch when you see that face in front of you right there?
The term "no one hates Star Wars more Star Wars fans" kind of applies to all fandom. Like, no one hates Call of Duty as much as Call of Duty fans. No one hates Nintendo as much as Nintendo fans. Of course, the fans are going to hate the thing that they're into more than anybody, because they're the ones that's interested in it. So they're going to be highly critical of it when it's fucked up.
The fans are the ones that care about something, right?
Yes.
And so whether they have a good feeling or a bad feeling, whether they feel good about that thing, bad about that thing, positive, negative, they are the ones that are going to be most passionate about it, because, spoiler alert, fans are the only ones who care about that thing. So when you fuck something up and destroy something for somebody, of course those fans are going to be upset about it. And it just this is the same script we've seen for the past 10 years from the mainstream media when it comes to this shit. And all of them are running with Disney's claim that, well, it's just a massive success. The Acolyte's diversity and representation have sparked controversy within the Star Wars fan base, leading to review bombing. Despite the negative reviews, Disney reports The Acolyte has been a success, with 4.8 million views on its first day of release. Weird, because Disney didn't even claim that it was anything other than the highest viewed debut of this year, of which they debuted nothing of note other than Echo, which was a gigantic disaster for them. I'm interested to see over the next couple days if we get any more word from them. Maybe comparisons to something like Ahsoka, that we could actually get a 1-to-1, and not just this sketchy math that they released that really means fucking nothing. But everyone is going with that headline like they wanted the mainstream to run with.
It's also tiresome. And when I think about these shills and their defense of this, I think about Az just yelling, "You're boring. You're boring," because that's exactly what it is. It's just boring. And God, using that chick's face, Leslye Headland's wife right there, she is distractingly bad in a horrible show. When you stand out in a show that's this shitty, you know you're bad. Holy crap. I didn't know that was her wife when I saw her in the show. And I'm like, this bitch is terrible. Who hired this bitch? Who hired her? She is so awful. And they're trying to fake her into like thinking she's a very strong presence in the show, and everyone needs to respect her. She carries so much weight, and it's distractingly obvious why she's in there. And that was before I even knew. Yeah. Now that I know who she is, it's amazing. So yes, diversity is going to continue to get criticized because it's bullshit. People are tired of forced diversity. I'm so tired of repeating the same bullshit. No one cares about actual diversity. It's forced diversity. And I don't think that diversity is a good thing or a bad thing. I think it's an irrelevant thing. because diversity should never be the focus of any type of show ever made, period. If you're making a show in Compton, you don't need fucking diversity. You need black people to tell your fucking story. Maybe you can throw a white person in there to roast them, but nobody really gives a fuck. It's just like when Black Panther, and I said, like, why was there a token white guy in Black Panther who gives a fuck? Like, at the end of the day, tell your fucking story. You don't need all this bullshit. Watching movies that are trying to tell a story, diversity is irrelevant. You don't need white people in a story about black people. You don't need to add diversity to a story. You need to add the best people for the job, period, regardless of what their gender, race, or sexual orientation is. Not complicated.
And that's the thing when it comes to this show, there's a lot of that. The thing was written for Amanda Stenberg. That was not a casting process. There was not auditions. Leslye Headland made up all of the concept art with Amanda Stenberg's face and wanted her to play the role. Bottom line. She cast her wife in the role. Charlie Barnett, the gay guy with the Wakanda haircut, who thinks Anakin blew up the Death Star. He was in Russian Dolls for Leslye Headland, right? So you've got a lot of these like connections of people that clearly it's not audition, not anything like that. And listen, we've seen other directors and filmmakers have their favorites and have their favorites that they like to bring into things. Certainly, James Gunn has been criticized for putting his wife in all of these different things, right? For a reason, because people are asking, is it really because she's the best person for the job, or is it because you're fucking married to her? It does bring up questions when you're putting the art into question over nepotism shit.
Acolyte is kind of, I've said this before, but like it's the culmination of everything Disney Star Wars. Like this has brought all of it together. The Kathleen Kennedy agenda, the identity politics bullshit, the feminism, the Force is female. You've brought all of it together. You put a bunch of people that know nothing about Star Wars, don't care about George Lucas, don't care about his creation, don't care about the history, and they've hijacked this entire franchise, and this show kind of brings it all together, and this is the end result of Disney Star Wars right here, and it is fucking horrible.
Next episode comes out Tuesday.